Howdy, y'all, and welcome back to the Friends You Can Keep podcast. That intro may seem weird, but it'll make sense in a couple of seconds. Sorry about that. I should have gotten a drink before I started, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't have any notes or anything to talk about this week, so we can jump right in. I have a feeling this conversation will branch out, so
Probably.
I'm fine with it. Before we start, though, I wanted to ask: did you notice that?
Oh, you've been using your fancy pen?
I've now started using my fancy Disney pen that has been in a box for years, and I've never touched it. And then a year or two ago, I decided, like, oh, I'll use this when I sign checks and I sign documents and stuff like that. And I barely have to do that anymore.
It was in the box with the change.
So then I'm like, oh, I'll start using this because I usually have a pen in my pocket. But
That's
then,
what those are designed for, isn't it? Like a pen that you carry with you.
Yeah, kind of.
No, I guess that's it's supposed to be a
this
desk
is a desk
pen where you have
because it's all fancy and it's got the sketches
and you have the little stand where you put your.
Now the only problem is when this runs out, I have to buy another fancy Disney pen for my.
No, you can buy ink replacements for pens like that.
But I kept finding there was a pen in here. Well, then I would take it out, do something else. I had to keep getting new pens, and now that I have this nice portfolio thing for it, I'm like, oh, I'll just put my fancy pen in there, and that will now be my. When I take notes and when I do other stuff with the show, this will be my podcast pen, my work pen, essentially. Even this, I'm not getting paid for this yet. But anyways, back to the task at hand. We talked about the episode with Ryan, and the question of what is your least favorite genre of music and why is it country? And we talked about, you and I talked about, I asked everybody.
Well, very briefly because we didn't want to ruin it.
No, we talked about it and hatched this idea that I'm getting to, and then that was the end of the conversation. That I ask everybody that question, and that's how I've asked every single person. If you've listened to all of them, you know, it is always, what's your least favorite genre of music and why is it country? And I've said it on Zephon's episode, and I said it on Ryan's episode. Those two I know specifically, where I did talk about people who vehemently hate country music. I don't think you're giving it its fair shake. There is a lot of bad country.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there is also a lot of bad hip hop, and there's a lot of bad rock music, and
bad pop. Yeah.
There's bad music in all genres. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, I feel like the bad music of country music vilifies the whole genre for so many people. So in that conversation, we hatched the idea of a topic for the show, which was we initially said top 10, but that was too difficult to narrow down in a week's time.
Well, because it's not really top 10. It's just 10. It's like 10 songs. Yeah. These wouldn't necessarily be like, these are my favorite country songs.
But we had the idea of making a list to discuss. Each one of us made a list of songs that if someone were to say to you, I do want to give country a chance, what are songs that I can listen to? So it's essentially two lists of if someone wanted to start giving country music its fair shake.
Or if
these are the songs we would suggest.
Music, what would you say? What have you listened to this?
As someone who I think I grew up on country a bit more than you did.
No.
Well, you grew up on a different kind of country.
We listened to nothing but country music until I was in middle school.
Okay. Well, we listened to nothing. My parents listened to nothing but country forever. My dad did. I only listened to.
Did you guys listen to a lot of music?
No, we listened to a lot of country music.
No, but I mean, just in your day-to-day life, was it more music than just in the car?
On the radio, in the car.
That's it.
And at the rink. I only listened to the varied range of music that I listened to because of working at the rink and my parents owning the skating rink.
Because
I got it through there. I got it through, and then as I got older, I started you'd hear stuff on professional wrestling. I'd hear songs in movies. I'd hear songs in TV shows, and I started getting artists from that. And I think growing up around the people I grew up with, growing up where I grew up and how I grew up, I think shaped my love of kind of all music. And it's funny because I think about it every time I talk about it. Like Linda, I don't if it wasn't for Linda, I probably wouldn't listen to like old school funk and Motown and like all that kind of stuff. Like I got into it because celebrities that I liked were into it. But like the Temptations, the OJs, like all that kind of stuff. I don't know that I would have really gotten into that. Linda was really into that kind of music.
My mom listens to more because like we also listen to B101 easy listening.
Yeah.
But like
we listened
to like old.
My mom had a varied range. It was mostly country, but she varied. My dad listened to like country and that was it.
Yeah.
And then it was because it was funny when as I'm getting older. And like I said, my whole life as my dad listened to nothing but country music. And then all of a sudden it's, oh, I really like, I don't know.
That song by Kiss.
Well, no, he did. He loves the song Beth by Kiss. He also loves the song Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding, which isn't really country, but it's the style of music is country adjacent. But we did find that out, and he literally likes Anne Murray, who is considered a country singer, but
like, and she's like folksy.
I think she's more like folksy, soft rock kind of thing.
Were the Carpenters country?
I mean, I wouldn't consider them country, but they were probably.
Was John Denver considered country?
Yes, John Denver was considered a country singer. No, it was like I don't remember exactly what song it was, but let's just say for shits and giggles, I heard it in a TV show, and as whatever age I was, I really liked like "Dancing on the Ceiling" by Lionel Richie or "All Night Long" by Lionel Richie. And I brought that up. And, oh, your dad loves Lionel Richie. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's funny to know like what they listened to before. Although, like I knew.
Or I went through a period of time where like I was really big into AC/DC, and then you find out like he also likes AC/DC because of course he did because he was a teenager in 1985.
80s.
Yeah. But
we listened to a lot of we listened to a lot of old music. We listened to Beach Boys, the Monkees, the Four Tops.
The Four Tops is a group, yes.
A lot of Motown.
They're in the same vein as like the OJs and the Temptations.
We had one of those box sets. I think it was them. But like we listened to a lot of country. But I went through a phase in like middle school and high school where I refused to listen to country music. But that was in the era of the "we'll put a boot in your ass."
See,
I like really
I don't know when
I just didn't care for that like really aggressive.
I don't know when it happened. I went through two phases. I did go through my hip hop phase.
I think
where I listened to nothing but hip hop music. I bought.
Yeah, you were like this.
I had my own spending money, so I bought Sean John. I had like a Sean John button down with the shirt underneath. I had a chain. I had a big fake diamond watch, pinky ring that was like a fake. I went to that kiosk at the mall and got the diamond rings and stuff like that. Belt buckle. I went hard. But I also went through like I don't know how I got the subscription to the magazine. Maybe Megan was selling. No, I didn't know Megan at that point. Somebody must have been selling magazine subscriptions. I don't know. I had a subscription to Country Weekly.
So then you went hard the other way.
I don't remember which came first though. I feel like the country phase was first.
Probably.
And then I went to the hip hop phase.
And I feel like then
I went through both.
Once you're an adult or like
and you had the household of your dad is conservative for like lack of getting super specific and differentiating it. Your dad is conservative, your mom is more liberal. Whereas my family, everyone but me is super conservative. So as you can imagine, as an impressionable child, I went hard into post 9/11 Toby Keith country music.
It was
as I got older, I thought like this is aggressive and it's not good. Like it's kind of terrible songs.
Well, I probably did.
But being a child, like a literal child during September 11th, 2001, and just of course because you're an impressionable toddler getting swept up. I wasn't a literal toddler. I was in
You were in first grade, kindergarten.
No.
Kindergarten.
No.
If I was in 7th grade, you were in kindergarten.
I definitely wasn't in kindergarten when September 11th happened.
2001.
I'm aware of what year it was.
Oh, maybe I wasn't in 7th grade.
I was in like 3rd or 4th grade.
2001, I would have been in 9th grade. 8th grade.
Because I would have been 7. I would have been 8 years old.
Just 2nd grade.
I think I might have been in 3rd. Because I'm pretty sure the teacher.
Oh, it was in the fall.
Yeah, I think I was in 3rd grade. But anyways, so being a very early elementary school student, of course you're getting swept up in all the, whether it's country music or not, just all the American propaganda of, we're the best, fuck every other country, how dare they do this to us.
Well, and then I stopped listening.
And then you get into,
I didn't care for all the Jesus ones either.
Then you get into like Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, American Soldier, Arlington by Trace Adkins, Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning by Alan Jackson, like just so much beating over the head of like pro-America, anti kind of everybody else propaganda. The World
Stop Turning is a little different, a little bit.
It's a little different, but it's also like just in the same vein of like, we get it.
Yeah,
this is not necessary.
It was just a lot. So I think that's during that era is when country music went.
I would have been fine if all the songs were in the vein of Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning, but too many of them went too hard into.
Then they started to get like, they started to talk about guns a lot, which was like a hot button issue, but it was also sort of like, now we're starting to feel
the gun conversation was because like, this is America and we have to kill everybody else because we're the greatest and everybody else is out to get us, which is not at all the case.
It was just obviously not everyone. There were plenty of songs that came out.
Yeah, there were plenty of artists who kept,
stayed out of it.
There were the Dixie Chicks.
Or, well, they went the other way.
They went the correct way.
Well, I mean, I don't really remember what they did. I think they just said like, fuck George Bush.
I don't remember.
They were in Texas.
They said something that was anti-George W. Bush.
Yeah, in
specifically
Texas.
W.
Or they said like that he should die.
Maybe, I don't know.
They went real far because then it was like, okay, bye-bye, Dixie Chicks. We'll see you later. I was never like a huge. I didn't hate them. I was never huge into them, so I don't know exactly. It was Natalie Maines.
So when you look it up on Google, the result that comes up, overview. In March 2003, the American country band The Dixie Chicks publicly criticized President George W. Bush, triggering a backlash.
Yeah, but what they said something.
I'm getting, it's right here. At a concert in London, the lead singer said the Dixie Chicks were ashamed to be from Texas, the same state as Bush, and they did not support the imminent invasion of Iraq. Well, they are and they aren't.
Aren't they from New England originally?
They're from New England, but he, I think, grew up in Texas. I think.
Because he's the only one with an accent.
Yeah, it's a big joke that he is the only Bush with an accent.
But whatever. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
So yeah, I think
it
it's
wasn't
essentially
quite as bad, but it was the timing of it was the big controversy.
Yeah, after the statement was reported by the British newspaper The Guardian, it triggered a backlash from American country listeners who are mostly right-wing and supported the war. The Dixie Chicks were blacklisted by many country radio stations, received death threats, and were criticized by other country musicians.
Yeah, I think it also went like too far the other way.
Entertainment Weekly likened the incident to the backlash after John Lennon quipped in 1966 that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus.
Or when Sinead O'Connor ripped off the Pope. Because the same thing happened to her. It was the same, like, sort of.
The Dixie Chicks and their position on Bush was cited as an influence by later country artists, including Taylor Swift, Miranda Lambert, and Casey Musgraves.
Weird.
Well, the problem is Dixie Chicks made that statement in the time, and it's not a problem, but they made that statement in the time of like, like I said, America is the greatest. How dare you talk about the president?
Yeah.
Like,
and it was seen like, why would you
how dare you be anti-war?
And you were overseas.
Whereas now we are back to the norm of like, people can have their own opinion.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like,
which we're not
still
really there,
very-
but
still very, very
publicly
post
you can
9/11.
have your own opinion.
So,
But yeah, so we're here to help people out that would like to get involved. I don't know how else to really put it.
or like just
in country music.
Here's some that we think are sort of maybe we'll give you a different like view of country.
Yeah, put a different
Or-
taste in your mouth.
Or a different sound. Because like maybe you're thinking that everything's gonna sound like twangy. Like
Well, that's what I said.
Twitty.
That's what I said on Ryan's show, is that
It's evolved a lot.
people think it's either like dueling banjos,
Yeah.
or everything is, not that it's not a good song, but everything is The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Yeah.
Or it's your super poppy modern, like very modern Luke Bryan. I'm trying to think of who else is really bad when it comes to like pop country.
Well, Jason Aldean.
No, Jason Aldean is.
Well, I guess not.
Yeah. He's hard country. I mean, he might as well be.
Florida Georgia
booting
Line was
your
really
ass.
Poppy.
Florida Georgia Line was really poppy.
They're gone.
Jason Aldean is very in the same vein of Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, but he's also, all of his songs are the same.
Yeah, he's Taylor Swift.
They're either like super hicky, like I'm proud to be a redneck, or it's a breakup song.
Yeah.
And all of his breakup songs are exactly the same. Mm-hmm. You're leaving your small town, you're getting drunk. Mm-hmm. Like, he is, when people think of the stereotype of like country is either your dog died, your wife left you, your truck died. It's Jason Aldean. Uh-huh. They are talking about Jason Aldean. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we have any overlap.
I would be curious to see if there's any overlap. We'll see. I
tried to pick some newer songs.
We can do. So I went in
a couple older ones.
I went into
I have one on here where it's so cringy, but I put it on here anyway because I stand by it. But
I went into Apple Music's, like, I went by genre. I went to country, and then you can do it by year, like the top songs in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, by decade. I guess not by year. I went through those playlists, so mine are kind of in order from top to bottom, of like older songs to newer songs.
Mine only go back to as far as like songs that I would have listened to, with the exception of I think one.
Well, these are all songs I knew. Like, I didn't go back.
But like I was alive for all of these.
Oh, okay. I was not alive.
Maybe except for one.
I was not alive for probably a lot of these.
But I was
not a lot.
I was trying to stay more current so that you could get like, here's a really feel.
I went far back because of the statements I've said of like, it doesn't frustrate me, but it kind of blows me away that people who are so anti-country are so pro Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Or pro guys like that, where it's like, this man was a country singer.
Yeah.
Or even John Denver. Like, yeah, you can qualify him as like a folk singer, but like he gets considered a country singer.
I think they're under the umbrella.
Like, you can tell me that Johnny Cash is a rock singer all you want. He's not. He's a country singer. He gets like heavily
he's a,
what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he gets very welcomed in the rock community, but like, sure, but also he was a country singer. Like, the man,
it's just a heavier country.
The man started out like trying to do gospel.
Yeah.
And that didn't work.
Well, what are your old songs?
So,
well, see, I know which one's my oldest one.
So, speaking of, and I tried to go songs that like were by artists that maybe people knew, but maybe songs that were like, I know them, but maybe they're a bit deeper cut. So, like, I have Johnny Cash on here. The two songs by Johnny Cash that I have on here, I have a feeling many, many people, well, no. I think when people think Johnny Cash,
Walk the Line and Ring of Fire.
No.
Folsom Prison?
Folsom Prison. Ring of Fire, but Ring of Fire because it was in one of the Tony Hawk games. And Boy Named Sue, I think, are the three that come up the most. Why not
Walk the Line? It's the title of that movie.
Because I don't think, if you were a Johnny Cash fan, you saw that movie, but like a Johnny Cash country fan, you saw that movie. People that were like him as like the picture of him giving the finger, like they're not. Hurt. No,
which is
people.
not
I mean,
his.
people do like that song. Well, according to Nine Inch Nails,
Well,
it is.
right, but I mean, it was a cover, so like, of course, he sounds rock because it's rock.
But no, they liked him because of the poster of him giving the finger. That's like the big.
I mean, he was.
But
like a alternative kind of guy.
So I have Man in Black.
Oh.
Which I think
Sunday Coming Down's a good one.
And Sunday Morning Coming Down is my other one. Sunday Morning Coming Down might be my favorite Johnny Cash song.
It's a good one.
And I put that on here because it's a good song. I put Man in Black on here because it is a good song, and I think the content of that song speaks also to. Because I think the other problem with country music that people have is your immediate assumption is it's all super right wing, whatever. Whereas that song is not.
Yes. And most of the songs that I haven't, there's the exception of one. That's even the artists themselves are less, either they're politically neutral, they don't really make too many statements, or they lean more on the side of like acceptance and equality more.
I have Wichita Lineman by Glenn Campbell.
Okay.
This one,
I forgot about Glenn Campbell.
This one, I think people, and Glenn Campbell is a weird one where I think he could, people might not know he's a country singer.
How do you not know? I'm a rhinestone cowboy.
He did tour with the Beach Boys.
Yeah, but...
So, but I think people could quantify him as almost like a pop singer, kind of.
I guess.
Because his songs they're not twangy, and they're not really...
When he came out, I feel like genres were a bit blurred, too.
Yeah, when these, this whole thing here, genres weren't so steadfast of, you're this or you're that.
Yeah.
Stand By Your Man, I have on here.
Oh, God. But see...
Crazy by Patsy Cline, I have on here.
But, I'm sure everyone's heard that song.
I'm not saying they haven't, but you never know.
Give it another listen. It's a great song.
I did not go for I Will Always Love You. I went with Jolene by Dolly Parton. I think Jolene is her better song.
I think that Dolly Parton is a bit more twangy, so she may be on the side.
But people like Dolly Parton enough that I think she could be
I love her.
Your gateway drug.
But she also has a lot of songs that her
Janet kind of reminds me of Dolly Parton. Yeah. I don't know why.
Her repertoire she has a
I think
Jolene.
I think Jolene and 9 to 5 are better than I Will Always Love You. I mean, I don't dislike I Will Always Love You. But
her version of I Will Always Love You.
So do I. But I think Jolene is her better song.
Coat of Many Colors.
Whiskey River by Willie Nelson. I did not
put Willie Nelson.
I did not go. Honestly. I did not go. What's the sad one that you don't like?
You were always on my mind.
Always on my mind. There it is.
I didn't put that on here because it is too fucking sad.
Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell.
Oh.
Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys.
No.
Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson.
No.
Why not?
No.
Why not?
If you don't like country music and you're trying to like country music, that's not the one.
No, I think it is. I think you could.
Did you ever watch the NFL in the 90s?
No.
Because they used that.
Oh, okay. Sure.
They used that in commercials, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
For the Dallas Cowboys.
Probably, but okay.
That one's it's very twangy.
I also almost put on here, what's the other one?
Because Willie Nelson.
I listened to refresh my memory. I went through Johnny Cash's catalog, and there was a couple I like, but I didn't add because I really wrestled with this is not, because there's If I Were a Carpenter.
Okay.
And I'm like, that song is corny. 5 Feet High and Rising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
I had, what's the one, Daddy Sang Bass. Again, didn't put that on here.
Well, and those are your stereotypical,
yes,
where it's very
yeah.
It feels like you're.
What was the other one? The one that made me think of this. Don't Take Your Guns to Town.
Oh yeah.
That one's a.
But
don't take your guns to town, son. Leave your guns at home, Bill. Don't take your guns.
Yeah, it's very. No, it's not even the topic; it's the sound of them. They're little, hoe down, what do they call it? Square dance?
Yeah,
they have that.
Hootenanny.
Yeah, they have that.
Now I'm getting into.
Okay, well,
these aren't super current, but they're in the 90s.
In
so
my old one, I have He Stopped Loving Her Today.
That's down here further. I don't remember. Like, I went back to find more, and that's down here.
Just because I think one thing that country does so well is portray heartbreak.
Country,
and nothing is portrayed.
I will stand by. Country does, to me, heartbreak and also love songs the best. I am not taking anything away. R&B does phenomenal. I am not taking anything away from R&B when it comes to love or breakup songs.
Oh yeah, because they have like
End of the Road.
Yeah.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
It might
By the way, speaking of, to go off on a tangent here for a second, I did not know that that Boys to Men covered Yesterday by the Beatles.
Yeah.
Because when I sent that to Brad, I just typed that in, thinking it would come up. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. And it just said Yesterday, and I'm like, is that what this song is called? And I clicked on it, and it was a cover of Yesterday by the Beatles. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I wonder if that was on their album. I did know that.
It does come up. The album art.
With the two?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had that CD.
We didn't listen to a lot of Boys to Men growing up, so.
We did.
I only know. I knew End of the Road. I know I'll Make Love to You. I only know It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday because so many things have used it.
And now we've come to
End of the Road. I said that already.
Yeah, what's it? They have one other one. Oh shit! It's about Philadelphia.
Motown Philly?
Yeah.
I didn't really know that one until I was older. But I know, like I said, I know the It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday from shows kind of spoofing it.
Yeah.
Or it is a comedy and then you use that song to like really show a death or something but it's comical. They use that song.
But I think that He Stopped Loving Her Today is such a like powerful song.
Yeah.
And it country also does really well being vague until they just slap you right in the face.
Yeah.
With the song.
I wanted to use I wanted to use the Grand Tour. But I will tell you, so I will still use it, I guess. But there's a caveat. I don't care for George Jones' version of the Grand Tour. I have grown to appreciate and like Michael Shannon's version of the Grand Tour. If you're not aware, George and Tammy was a mini series on Showtime about George Jones and Tammy Wynette. George Jones was played by Michael Shannon. Tammy Wynette also is played by
Chastain.
Jessica Chastain. Love her. I'm like, it's not Isla Fisher, it's the other one. It's not Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, I was like, it's not Jurassic Park. Jurassic World, sorry.
But Jessica Chastain and Michael Shannon do their own singing. I think Tammy Wynette sounds better than Jessica Chastain, but I think Michael Shannon sounds better than George Jones. But I do like George Jones's version of He Stopped Loving Her Today.
Yeah.
But listen to the Grand Tour, but listen to Michael Shannon's version of the Grand Tour to speak on He Stopped Loving Her Today. It's actually right there.
Then I don't know where this one. I think it's in the 90s. So when you get to the 90s.
Yeah, I think I'm in the 80s now.
Yeah, I don't.
The 70s or the 80s. So I have Amarillo by Morning.
Oh.
George Strait.
Armadillos keep digging.
I Love a Rainy Night.
Who's that?
You would know it to hear it. I'm not going to play it, but Eddie Rabbit is the name of the singer. Forever and Ever, Amen.
Oh, God, yes.
Randy Travis. He Stopped Loving Her Today is right there. Angel of the Morning by Juice Newton is considered a country singer. I
only know the lady version.
That is the lady version.
Her name's Juice Newton?
Yes. So the song that I am referencing, for those of you that don't know it, it is the song in the opening credits of Deadpool 1.
Yeah.
So when they're doing the fight scene in the car, that's the song that comes on the radio. Then I have You Needed Me by Anne Murray and Snowbird by Anne Murray.
Beautiful.
I also liked, I forget what it's called though.
Anything by Anne Murray, that'll give you like a real sense of...
What's the one I'm thinking? Andy's song? Davy's song? Even though we ain't got money.
Oh, Danny's song.
Danny's song. There it is. That's also good. I like her version or Loggins and Messina.
Yeah, I
which is
know the
Kenny Loggins.
I only know the Loggins.
You know both of them. Now I'm into the 90s, so We can go back and forth. You can.
Well, I only have one, technically two, but it's just really for the artist because I think Alison Krauss is a really good one because it also gives you the other side.
It's probably the same one I have.
I'll Fly Away.
Oh no!
You have one. You say nothing at all.
I do. Correct.
Of course you do. I put it in here, and
it's a great song.
I'm like, that's not the one I want though.
It's a great song.
I'll Fly Away because it gives you that like.
Yeah, it's a good song.
I mean, it's a very Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Yeah.
Man of Constant Sorrow. Great movie.
It sounds like that, but it gives you like a more modern actual, because that's probably a cover, I would imagine. I don't know.
Oh.
But I don't know. It has all the elements of a country song, but it's also like her voice is so easy to listen to. It's so soothing. It's so clear.
I think you didn't go hard enough in 90s country.
It's because I don't think that if you're trying to delve into country music, that 90s country is going to do it for you.
I beg to differ. So the list I have here, because I have quite an extensive number of songs from the 1990s.
I think that's where no, 2000s is where you're getting the like.
So we have, while we did disparage Toby Keith a lot at the beginning of this, I think Should Have Been a Cowboy is a great Toby Keith song. Mm-hmm. I almost put How Do You Like Me Now, but I'm like, it's a good song.
Yeah, but
I think his best song might be Should Have Been a Cowboy.
Oh no, is How Do You Like Me Now the one where he's like on stage and he's singing to the girl who like turned him down in high school?
No, well, yeah, it's the How Do You Like Me Now that I'm on my way? Do you still think I'm crazy standing here today? I couldn't make you love me, but I always dreamed about living in your radio. How Do You Like Me Now?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on the 50-yard line, writes her phone number or whatever.
Yes.
He's got a couple of good ones. Pre 9/11. I love his bars good. Red Solo Cup, obviously. Well, that's later too. So he went through a weird phase of like he had really good music, then 9/11 happened. He had really America music. Then he kind of did nothing, and then he had Red Solo Cup, As Good as I Once Was.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah.
Like that was his comeback album of being a good country singer
again. If you like country music, then of course you like those songs. They're great. Yeah. But in terms of like you're someone who doesn't like country at all or just never really listened to it.
Yeah.
And like these are some songs to maybe like help you get into it. I think that a lot of the songs in the 90s are your like my dog died, my wife left my truck ran.
No.
Maybe I'm thinking of 80s country then.
So, I will continue on my list.
Well, I mean, obviously anything Tim McGraw.
I have Dust on the Bottle by David Lee Murphy.
Yeah.
I have Wide Open Spaces by the Dixie Chicks.
I wouldn't have put any Dixie Chicks on here.
Oh, sorry, the Chicks. I apologize. Wide Open Spaces by the Chicks. I like that song. You don't like that song?
I don't know. I always think that I like their music.
Did they cover Landslide?
Yes.
I mean, I prefer Stevie Nicks version, but
this one's for you, Daddy. They leave that out.
I understand what your route of thinking was. Before I say this next one, I understand your line of thinking for this list. My line of thinking was many facets. I went through many decades. I went through kind of your love songs, your breakup songs.
Yeah, I have an array of.
But my point in this one is this falls to me in the lane, and it's not going to be for everybody, but depending on who the person was, this falls into the lane of the other thing that country music did. It has fallen away from it so much, but did very well, which was tell you a complete beginning to end story.
Yes, they do. And they still do.
So one of them, which is not on this list, is The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
Oh God, what a I don't have
I instead chose Fancy.
Oh, see, I would pick That's the Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
I like that song as well, but I picked Fancy.
Yeah. That's also fine.
Then we have
any Reba.
Then we have 4 songs by the same band. I'm amazed you didn't put a single one of these songs on here.
I can't believe I don't have any Billy Ray on here.
Neon Moon.
Oh.
My Maria. That Ain't No Way to Go. And It's Getting Better All the Time.
See, I think that Neon Moon.
Is such. Ronnie Dunn has one of the best voices in country music.
Absolutely, he does.
In the history of country music.
He does. And their songs are so catchy and they're so memorable.
Like, listening back to It's Getting Better All the Time when I made this list, I'm like, God damn it. Ronnie Dunn can sing.
When Neon Moon.
But he really, you got to listen to It's Getting Better All the Time. I'll play it when we're done recording this. Because Neon Moon is great, but It's Getting Better All the Time. It's even him when he's older. I'm pretty sure that song I went into like Brooks and Dunn.
Yeah.
So that's like a weird pocket that's not fully in the 90s. But that song is later in their career as a
when
duo.
Neon Moon like went wild on TikTok, I was like, oh man, I forgot how much fun they are.
It's a great song. The cover by Casey Musgraves is also a good song.
Isn't it not? It's with them.
It's barely. They're like background singers in the second verse.
Okay.
There's so that whole album was collaborations, but hers is very heavily her. Like Brand New Man is Luke Combs, I think, in the first verse. Oh, it's all of them in the opening. Then it's Luke Combs. Then I think they're the second verse. Like a lot of those songs are very much back and forth. Whereas I've been baptized by the fire in your touch and the flame in your eyes. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, Brooks and Dunn is definitely a good one to listen to because they're very country.
Yeah.
But also
they're very country, but you listen to them.
They're so catchy.
They're very catchy. They some of their songs have like, it feels like it should be a pop song, but the instruments and the singing are still very country.
Yeah.
They have a lot of that synthesizer, is that what it's called? Yeah. A lot of steel guitar. Mm-hmm. A lot of steel guitar. And they also have songs that sound like they could be more rock, but they're still they also went like Only in America.
Yeah.
Which isn't, it's a weird one. I still enjoy it because it's not like pro-war, but it's just kind of like the idea of America.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it's actually kind of a more diverse, it's actually a better song than I'm giving it credit for. I kind of regret bringing it up in the same vein of those songs.
Well,
because the whole point of that song is like, I'm trying to think of the lyrics to it to really emphasize what I'm talking about here. Because the whole song is about kids on a school bus. And it's the whole idea of like, it's talking about the kids in the bus, and then it's a school bus driver in a traffic jam. One could end up going to prison, one just might be president. And then it's like, one kid dreams of fame and fortune, one kid helps pay the rent. Like, it's all about it's kind of it's not really it's really not a political song. It's more just like, in America, you can kind of be whatever you want to be.
One, like you can have a room full of all these kids, and then
it goes into it does do the kind of storyteller thing where it goes into them being older, and it's, she came out here to be an actress, he was a singer in a band. They might just go back to Oklahoma and talk about the stars they could have been. Mm-hmm. So it's very much, that song is more like, it falls more in line with the American dream kind of thing. I didn't put on here, I almost had a subgenre of songs that I think are funny.
Yeah.
And I should have, because one of them definitely would have been the Notorious Cherry Bombs, which you should look this song up. And the music video is also hilarious. The Notorious Cherry Bombs, It's Hard to Kiss the Lips at Night That Chew Your Ass Out All Day Long. Mm-hmm. I think that is hysterical.
It is so funny.
I also think it falls under funny. It's a great song, very catchy. But I think it also falls under funny. Music video, again, is very funny. You Can't Take the Honky Tonk Out of the Girl. Brooks and Dunn.
I never heard it.
You know that song. The music video is a wedding. And it's, I'm trying to think of the verse to like really give it away. Because the girl they're singing about is a bridesmaid. And like the last verse, maybe, it's them playing music, but then Ronnie Dunn like talks, and it's like, hey, by the way, where's Connie? And then she's run off with that boy to Cancun. She lives in LA, she flies to New York City. That woman's been around the world. You can take the girl out of the honky tonk, but you can't take the honky tonk out of the girl. It's a very funny song of like, clearly a girl who grew up in a more redneck situation.
Oh.
And is now...
Ow.
Connie might be the bride. Because the wedding, I don't think, happened. So Connie might be the bride now that I'm saying that, but whatever. But like, she moves to the city and gets a city job or whatever. But then like, throughout the progression of the song, she's getting fucking hammered, and like, it's the idea of like, you can take the girl out of the honky tonk, but you can't take the honky tonk out of the girl. But there's a couple of different songs that are funny. I think Cocaine Blues is a funny song by Johnny Cash, but I mean it's not really funny, but
I think
it's played for laughs.
What's the song where it's like I like my women kind of a little on the trashy side?
I like my women a little on the trashy side.
That's funny. If you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl.
Watermelon crawl. I think there's a couple of them too, because then you have like Take This Job and Shove It. Not a funny song, but it's funny when you kind of hear it, and it like
take this job
and shove it.
I ain't
working here no more. That's a breakup song, technically. My woman done left and took all the reasons I've been working for. You better not try to stand in my way because I'm walking out the door. So take this job and shove it.
When I quit my previous job, on my final day, we had a happy hour, and I took a picture and I posted it online with the lyrics to that song.
I'm trying to think. Now it's going to bug me I didn't do that because I'm trying to think of like other country songs that are funny.
Red Solo Cup would be on there because
outside of your that fucking guy you listen to, I can't stand.
Oh no, but that's not. I would not count him.
He's a country singer.
Yeah, but I would not. If we're talking about like funny country songs, I wouldn't count Wheeler Walker Jr.
Some of his songs aren't bad, but some of them are just.
Most of them are, but they're
atrocious.
Those are meant to be parody songs.
Does he drop them out? Is that him?
Yeah, drop them out. Let me see them titties.
Okay.
Want to take a look at those?
Want to take a look at them tickle bitties? Let me get a gander at your boobs. I only know that because Kelly fucking played it for me like 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, thank you, that's enough.
He has some other ones. Which one of you, insert word here, is gonna suck my dick?
Oh, where's the? I'm trying to think of the other one. What's that?
She's a cunt.
Boys lie too. Girls lie too.
Girls lie too.
Is that the name of the song? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Girls lie too.
Yeah, we don't care how much money you make, the car you drive, or
yeah.
Your old gay sweatpants turn us on. We like your friends and we love your mom. That's a funny song. Music video is also very funny. There's a Toby Keith one that I'm thinking I can't think of. I mean, a couple of his songs are weird to the point that they're funny.
Yeah.
Like, what's the one? I Want to Talk About Me is kind of a funny song just because of how weird it is.
Yeah.
And his music videos are outlandish.
Honky Tonk Badonkadonk is funny.
That's Trace Adkins, and I fucking cannot stand that song. He is a weird guy because he has Arlington, which is about Arlington National Cemetery.
Is he the?
He's got no. That's I forget that guy's name, but he sounds like Tim McGraw. Rodney Carrington, maybe. That might be his name. But he's got Arlington. Then he's got that You're Gonna Miss This. That's also not him.
What? Yes, it is.
That's not Trace Adkins. He's got You're Gonna Miss This, which is your favorite song.
Oh my god.
He's got a couple of like very deep country songs. Then he did Honky Tonk Badonkadonk. And he did what is in my opinion one of the grossest country songs, which is Hot Mama.
Oh, ew! It came on the radio the other day in my Apple Music favorites list.
It's a gross song.
Or no, my Apple Music like For You radio station. I'm like, Apple Music.
It's a gross
at all.
It's like like it tries so hard to have like a sexual undertone. But the song is so. And when I say it,
I just forgot. I forgot about a whole genre of country music.
When I say it's gross, I say like it's sleazy. Like it's a very like you feel dirty when you listen to it. It's that kind of song. But anyways, back to the task at hand.
Oh god, I can't remember what that song is called or who sang it.
So
well, when we get there,
I had When You Say Nothing at All by Alison Krauss.
I mean, if you can find anything by her.
I then had Lesson in Leavin', Jody Messina.
Yes.
Then I have, these are 2 big ones. I struggled with what songs to pick from this man.
Oh.
Because some of them are very country to the point of like, I don't know that you're going to enjoy this. But he also does a lot of, like, as a country fan, I like almost all of his songs. I chose Don't Rock the Jukebox.
Oh.
And Good Time by Alan Jackson. You could have gone Itty Bitty. Who's Cheating Who? Chattahoochee came up on one of those playlists, and I'm like, Chattahoochee feels a bit too country for people.
But see, now
to me,
Itty Bitty, I think leans on
too country.
Too country.
That's why I didn't put it in here. Remember When, I think, is a bit too sentimental. I mean,
so
if you're looking for that lane of music, then yes.
If you want a good, well-rounded like list of songs,
Yeah.
put Remember When in there as your like older, and like my mom requested that we play that for them at our wedding.
Yeah.
It's a very like sentimental song.
Yes.
Which
country also does very well.
Which it's in the same vein as it's a love song.
Yeah.
Who sings If You Get There Before I Do?
I don't know.
It's the guy that looks like my dentist.
I know Waiting on a Woman.
I have that.
By Brad Paisley. Also a funny song. He has a couple of funny ones. Little Moments, that's a funny one.
I'm Still a Guy.
I fucking hate that song. I fucking...
If You Get There Before I Do. Colin Ray. No.
I'm Still a Guy.
Oh, yeah. So the premise of If You Get There, it's called Love, Me.
Yeah.
It's a grandfather in the vestibule of his wife's funeral talking to his grandson about meeting his wife.
Yeah.
And how when they were young, they were going to run away together. And she left a note on a tree that said, if you get there before I do, don't give up on me. I'll meet you when my chores are through. I don't know how long I'll be. I'm not going to let you down. Blah, 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 blah. Love me. So he reads that at her funeral. So, like, if you want a country song that's like The Waterworks, then there you go.
Yeah. I prefer Wait on a Woman. Which takes you from the beginning of a relationship to her death.
So does this song.
Yeah.
It's the same idea as Waiting on a Woman. It starts at the end and goes backwards.
Well, yeah.
Because it's the old man.
Well, it starts out Brad Paisley's relationship.
Yes.
And then I sat next to an old man on a bench, and then he's telling me about his relationship.
Yeah. It's the same idea. It's just
I don't know that I have a lot of Brad Paisley on here, which I think is kind of a... Like, I should have more of Brad Paisley on here. But anyways.
I don't have that one. I don't have Waiting on a Woman. So
I have Don't Rock the Jukebox and Good Time. I then have Troubadour by George Strait.
Mm-hmm.
And Here for a Good Time by George Strait.
Oh, definitely. Yes. I don't have any George Strait.
Because I think Here for a Good Time could be... I mean, then you could put a lot more George Strait on this list, I think. But I think Here for a Good Time... I also went with songs of, like... So speaking of having the thought of, like, the different lanes of country music. I think a song like Good Time by Alan Jackson and Here for a Good Time by George Strait fall in the lane of, like, you're looking Red Solo Cup, I Love This Bar, kind of like your party anthem songs.
Or drinking songs.
Yeah.
That's a big...
Well, like a party, that kind of... Because Here for a Good Time is literally, I ain't here for a long time, I'm here for a good time. So Bring On the Sunshine.
Said that on Jeopardy the other day.
Bring On the Sunshine, To Hell with the Red Wine, Pour Me Some Moonshine. When I'm Gone, Put It in Stone, He left nothing behind. I ain't here for a long time, I'm here for a good time.
It was the Tournament of Champions on Jeopardy. And the one guy got a double Jeopardy, and he said, "You know what? I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. Let's wager it all." He did get the... It has. I wonder. He did get the question wrong.
I want to know. I want to know. Did that phrase exist before that song, or did that song kind of invent that phrase? Because it has become a phrase, and that song is old enough where I could believe
either way.
Like that's where the phrase originated, or he took it and put it in the song.
There's also... Wait, who does the... So I settled for a burger and a grape snow cone?
Alan Jackson.
Apparently that's an innuendo for a blowjob.
Well, a lot of that song is. I'm pretty sure.
But is it like... Did he mean that? Or did it...
What song is that?
Chattahoochee.
Is that Chattahoochee?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets hotter than a hoochie's coochie.
That's not what the words are.
That is what the words are.
It gets hotter than the hoochie coochie.
Then He definitely says not the.
But he doesn't say a hoochie's coochie.
It gets hotter than a hoochie coochie. Yeah. Which, to me...
I don't know what
you're just cutting out the possessive S.
I don't know what that means. What's it? But I
don't either.
Apparently, burger and grape snow cone.
But anyways, I am now out of the 90s. So if you would like to...
Rejoin
the conversation, and we can go back and forth or whatever you want to do.
Really? Okay, hold on.
because I've now kind of gone into more artist.
Well, I'm in modern. I'm full.
Oh, I'm in modern, but I went more
I
like
have one oldie, and I cannot believe that you don't have this on your list.
I went more artist based at this point than I did like these are specifically 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Like it just became.
Okay, I have one on here. It is the only song from this man that I think is acceptable for you to listen to, and it is "Amarillo Sky" by Jason Aldean. Why is it not on your list?
Because I didn't want to give Jason Aldean any credit of what's.
It is such a great song, though.
It is a good song.
It's about farming. And
yeah.
It feels like quintessential country because it's very like heart of the earth.
Well, it's heart of America.
Yeah, without saying that.
It's a vibe of Songs About Me by Trace Adkins, which is.
And it's just about like, it's got a very like buy dirt feel. Let my crops and children grow.
I do like buy dirt.
But it's got that like I don't know when it came out, in the 2000s probably.
Yeah.
But it's a good one, and I think it has a good sound, and like it gives you that like real country.
Well, he also has Fly Over States, which is basically the same song, just worse. I do think if you're going to look at Jason Aldean's career, Amarillo Sky, sadly, is on his first album, I'm pretty sure, and it is his best song.
I do really like Big Green Tractor, just because I think it's like...
Oh, God.
I didn't used to.
Of course you do.
I didn't used to.
Of course you do.
But it grew on me a lot. Because
you didn't, because you misinterpreted the opening lyrics, and then I had to explain to you, no, he's saying this. And you're like, oh.
But still, his girlfriend...
This is a whole different song
His girlfriend shows up all dressed up in her fancy car. He's like, I'll take you out, or I'll just take you right in the yard in my tractor. But then the more you listen to it...
Well, he's giving her the choice. Yeah. We can go to the show or we can stay right here. And she chooses to... I mean, granted, it was probably written by him. But she, in the context of the song, she chooses to stay and go for a ride on the tractor.
But it's also like... But the more you listen to it, the more you realize that, like...
You know what song I didn't put on here? And I almost did just to spite you?
What?
As we're getting into like the 90s, early 2000s.
No songs about how like I fucked up and I'm so sorry.
No. That's not what it was.
I hate those.
I'm surprised. I thought for sure you were going to say it.
A song that I don't like?
Yes.
Well, please don't put on...
Not for the context. Well, kind of for the context of the song, but not like...
Standing outside the fire.
No.
Standing outside. We don't have any Garth on here because...
I do.
If you're not listening to country music,
I do.
You don't like Garth. You probably have...
No.
Billy Joel
we'll get to it. I don't.
What song?
I Hope You Dance.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean.
I don't.
I hope when one door closes. Is that what it is?
I hope one more opens.
Yeah, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give Faith a fighting chance. And if you get the choice to sit now, when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance.
Okay, here's the deal.
That is the speech I'm going to make when Tony graduates.
And Tony's going to go like this. Robin will be like, I'll dance.
And Tony's going to be like, thank you so much.
Here's my problem though. Okay, when that song came out, do you know how many other songs came out where it's just this very bizarre, like singing, like my wish for you. Like,
no, My Wish came out much long after that song.
Idea. But there was a song about graduation, and there was that Wear Sunscreen song. Different genres of music.
Wear Sunscreen? What the fuck song is that?
So have you ever heard Chris Rock's parody, There's No Sex in the Champagne Room?
Yeah.
The original is a white guy. It's just him giving advice.
Oh, okay.
If a steps on your Puma, let it slide.
Okay. Back to the list. I hope you list.
Let me see if I got... All these are like...
So I have 3 here. The third one down is going to be very controversial for you. For me to have on this list.
Well, you keep going with your... Because mine are all, like, current to the point of...
Like, your 2010s and beyond?
Yeah,
oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because I was trying to stay more, like... I didn't want to go. Like,
do you even like country music?
Yeah,
What's
but
wrong
I was
with you?
trying to stay more.
What's the matter with you?
Current, so
Unbelievable.
you could go
So I
now
have,
and beyond.
I have a very controversial
I feel like
song.
I need another drink just for you to keep going.
Controversial song for us because it is a different. You flipped it on me on what I thought the song was.
I did not. It's the actual.
It is.
I
It
did
is.
not do this.
It is. But I
also,
this
wasn't pre-planned. I just know exactly what song you're.
I misread it.
So did I.
And then you pointed it out to me, and I'm like, oh fuck.
I almost put it on here too. I forgot about it.
Stay by Sugarland. It is not really Sugarland. It's just Jennifer Nettles. I don't care.
Do they play music or are they all singers? It's like Sugarland.
Well, it's her and a guy.
Does he play?
I'm pretty sure. Well, he plays guitar. I'm pretty sure he also sings though.
But maybe he's just playing. And
their other songs are awful. There's not a single other Sugarland song that I like. Don't care for it. I don't care for them. I don't really care for Jennifer Nettles, period.
No, but I like the song.
But Stay is a powerhouse ballad.
Mm-hmm. Which we thought was about a woman begging her husband to not have an affair.
I thought it was the point of view that she was the wife and her husband was leaving to his mistress.
Stay.
The reality is she is the mistress begging the man not to go back to his wife.
Because the opening thing is it's just another call from home.
Well, normally you have to understand my misconception because normally in country music it is does he love you? It is the main character is the wife.
Yeah.
And then for me to I immediately just assumed like, oh, this is such a sad song.
Yeah.
And she's crying at the end of the music video. But yeah.
And I was because it comes up in my.
You get a call from home, and you'll be gone, and I'll be crying.
And I was listening. I was like, wait a minute.
So why? Well, what's very weird is now that I'm thinking about it, what's very strange is we have flipped my conception of this song, my interpretation of this song, and now the end of the song kind of makes me not like it.
No, it's just
because when I thought she was the wife, the end of the song felt great.
Yeah, right.
Because the final verse is very like I'm empowered now. Well, but now knowing that you're the mistress,
why don't you stay? I'm down on my knees. Like
I'm so tired of being lonely. Don't I give you what you need? Yeah. When she calls you to go, there's one thing you should know. We don't have to live this way. Why don't you stay? Then the final verse, the final chorus is, why don't you?
No, I'm up off my knees.
Yeah, I'm up off my knees.
I can't do this anymore. You can't give me what I need.
Yeah, you can't give me what I need. One thing
you should know when she calls, when you want to leave her bed for mine, why don't you stay?
Yeah.
It's still the notion of.
But I don't like the fact it's more soured on me now, knowing that she is the mistress and powered at the end. Like, fuck you, bitch.
But I think it's still sort of like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, but it feels better when it's the wife who's being cheated on, not the woman he's cheating with. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be empowered, bitch. His wife needs to be empowered.
Right. Well, and then you have Diane.
And I did not what?
There's another song by another artist, Cam, called Diane. I promise I didn't know he was your man.
Goodbye, Earl.
Noticed a gold wedding band, and then it's just the other. Oh,
you mean One Night Standards?
No. She's just saying I don't care. If
I ain't gonna ask where your ring is. Thing is, we all got secrets. She is.
No, she's just saying she's not singing to one particular.
That's not on my list. It should be.
It is on mine.
What's the other one she did? Laid On in the Kitchen. Another great one. I have deep apologies to Ashley McBride.
But the notion,
except for that weird song that you had on the playlist one time. It's off of like first album. Didn't care for it. Shame on you.
Or the where it's like all the ladies in their moo-moos and they're coming out of the trailer.
I don't remember.
Grab your cigarettes.
It was very Gretchen Wilson vibes. And I'm like, I don't care for this.
I also think it was supposed to be a joke.
I'm sure it was, but I didn't care for it. I didn't care for knowing two like awesome songs from her, then that played, and I'm like, I'm questioning whether or not I like this.
The whole album was weird though, so I think it was supposed to be. But
God, remember Gretchen Wilson?
The song Diane is the other woman coming to the wife and saying, "Listen,
I think you've played it. I
had an affair with your husband, but he wasn't wearing his wedding band, and now I know he's married, and I want you to know so you can decide if you pick, like, if you're gonna stay with him or not."
Yeah,
basically.
2 black Cadillacs.
No, they kill him.
We could do an entire subgenre of this episode that is just songs about murder and people dying in country music, and not dying in like a sad.
No, dying.
Someone got old and died. Like that's murder.
So it's Two Black Cadillacs?
No, I mean like
Flowers, that Chris Young song about how he sober.
I mean, also
sober Saturday night.
Also murder. No, I'm talking about the one that Carrie Underwood does. Where what the hell is it called?
The Wind? Where the little girl doesn't wake
where
up
it's the where it's the premise of the movie Twister, where the dad gets killed by a twister.
Yeah, only because he's drunk or the one where
if that song is not used, if that song is not used in Twisters, I'm gonna be very mad.
The one where
but your connection should be
could never save Jenny. We're singing the Baptist. Where she like
hold on, I'm getting there.
She slipped something into his Tennessee
church bells.
whiskey that no lawmaker could
church bells.
Find. She
can hear those church bells ringing.
I'm pretty sure that Carrie Underwood and Chris Young have killed someone together and they're covering it up.
I can't stand Carrie Underwood.
She's got a ton. We could have a whole episode about
her.
Country songs about killing someone and covering and like killing for revenge.
Yeah.
Or DUIs.
Yeah.
Chris Young definitely has. He's got to have a DUI.
100%.
He knows way too much about it.
Well, he's got a DUI, and then later in his career, he's got that, whatever it is with Kane Brown, where it's like, we grew up in a small town, and there's no traffic light, and the cop is my brother-in-law, and the
people I know.
Famous friends.
Yeah.
How it's like all the local celebrities, and it's like, of course you do. That's why no one knows that you have multiple DUIs.
Yeah, like what's happening with
murders?
Your catalog, like why do you have a couple work? Because I remember
your early career was I got drunk a lot and I hit a bunch of people and they're all dead, and then your later career is like I got some famous friends that you've never heard of, and a lot of them are cops because I grew up in a one stop sign small town in the South.
Like I saw. My friend is a big Chris Young fan. Fine, no problem. I like a lot of his music. He has a really good sounding voice. So we were diving deep into his songs, and all of a sudden, one summer, we were like, hold on a second. We're rocking out to these, and this one feels like something weird happened.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
And then we were like, wait a minute, this one also feels like someone is dead. And it was just like, is this a Carrie Underwood situation where there's just like a lot of songs?
Yeah.
And it's not just his songs it's usually the girlfriend is dead. Whereas like Carrie Underwood, it's like the cheating, no good husband or the dad.
Yeah.
In that one.
In the Twister one.
Yeah.
Helen Hunt's dad.
He clearly killed. I think that is a follow-up.
Do you think she wrote that after she watched?
Do you think it's a follow-up to Papa Love Mama?
I have no idea. Do you think she watched Twister and then wrote that song?
Probably.
Because it is literally a man who gets killed by a tornado.
Yeah, but on purpose. It's not in Twister. That guy accidentally gets killed by the Twister.
I mean, that man basically killed himself, right, dumbass.
In her song,
but do you think it's like a weird like she wrote her own Twister movie, but just as a song?
No, maybe.
Is Helen Hunt in the music video?
I don't know.
She should have done that. Shame on Carrie Underwood if she didn't.
In my mind, when I don't know if there is a music video for Two Black Cadillacs. Maybe there is.
There definitely is.
In my mind,
I've never seen it, but
envision the wife being the grandma from Gilmore Girls. I don't know why, but in my mind,
what?
That's who it is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have "Stay" by Sugarland.
Okay.
"Cowboy and Me" by Tim McGraw.
Let me see what I already did. Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
Which Tim McGraw I struggle with a lot. Of what songs do I put by him?
Yeah.
Because I think he is one of the top country singers.
Can I reorganize these?
But he's got some that are a bit like too country. But then I also struggle with like "Humble and Kind." I think is a great song by him.
Yes. I think "Humble and Kind" gives you that like the advice sort of feel. Because there's a couple the Light On in the Kitchen has that same idea. Meanwhile, but Mama says that feel. I don't care for that.
This is the one that will be controversial.
Oh no.
In your eyes. But in terms of storytelling, I put Red Ragtop on here by Tim McGraw.
I don't dislike that song. I just don't love that we're writing songs about that topic.
Well, there's multiple songs about abortion.
Sure, but like, for what?
I don't know. It tells a story.
Yeah. Yes.
So basically, to give you the premise of that song, him and his girlfriend, who are clearly in high school, fall in love, have sex. She gets pregnant.
They have sex in his car.
They have sex in the back of her. It's her car.
Oh.
In the back of her red ragtop. She gets pregnant. Please don't stop loving me, which is kind of gross when you think about it.
Well, I think they're using the loving, not in the physical, in the like.
Oh no, that's the second one. That's the second one. The first one is just please don't stop. Still gross. They're having sex. Then the second verse is she's pregnant. They're having a conversation of what to do with the baby. The chorus, she clearly decides to get an abortion, and that chorus ends with please don't stop loving me. It's basically the notion of like
don't leave me because
don't
I did this.
well don't not yes don't leave, but also like don't look at me differently.
Yeah,
don't
yes.
But then the end of the song is they did break up. It doesn't tell you when exactly, but they do break up at some point in time. He's now an adult man. I was stopped at a red light just yesterday beside a young girl in a cabriolet, and her eyes were green, and I was in an old scene. So it's just then him like seeing a stranger in a red ragtop.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the right song. But then I have, so again, this went by like more artist wise. Bluebird by Miranda Lambert.
Oh.
Over You by Miranda Lambert.
Mm-hmm.
And The House That Built Me by Miranda Lambert.
That's what I was going to say for her, is The House That Built Me. That's a good one.
Here's ones I'm very interested in your thoughts on these next two. I struggle with whether or not I wanted him on this list at all. But I like these songs a lot. And the first one, I think, has a bit more of a poppy feel that it could get someone more into country music.
Is it Morgan Wallen?
Your Heart or Mine by John Party.
Oh, I have him on here.
And Ain't Always the Cowboy
so
by John
I have
Party.
Dirt on My Boots by him only because it was the first song that came up. There's something about John Party that is so...
Do not listen to his Christmas album. It's dog shit.
He's so quintessential country because he's still twangy and his topics are very country, but he's
quintessential country. Don't get it twisted. His music isn't twangy. His voice is twangy.
Yes.
He's also disgusting.
Yeah.
I stopped following him on social media because I'm like, you're kind of a dirtbag. Like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not a dirtbag in the sense that Jason Aldean is a dirtbag, like a dirtbag in like a...
No, he posts like gross pictures of his wife.
It's like super horny pictures of his wife, and I'm like, bro, this is strange. Yeah. Are you a cuck? Like, what's happening here? Your Instagram gives off that you're either a cuck or like you two are swingers big time. Because your Instagram was like, look how hot my fucking wife is in this string bikini and like weird shit like that. And it's like, bro, I get it, but good lord.
I didn't really know which song to pick from him, so I have him on.
I really like
the first one that came up.
I really like Your Heart or Mine. I think has a great, and Ain't Always the Cowboy might be my favorite song by him.
He has a lot of good ones.
I like Head Over Boots, but that's very country.
Dirt on My Boots is super country.
Yeah, but not as country as Head Over Boots.
He's got like
Head Over Boots, even like Dirt on My Boots could have a bit more of a rock cadence and a rock feel to it. Head Over Boots is a very country like.
Is it Heartache Medication? Is that what it's called?
Heartache Medication, Heartache on the Dance Floor.
Heartache on the
They're both songs by him.
Oh, they're both okay.
Yeah, they're separate songs. So
he has like it is a pop feel. He's got like a real party. Most of his songs are pretty like.
Up All Night was his first hit.
Party, yeah. So. He's a good one if you usually listen to
you know what's weird?
You were turned off by Luke Bryan, try him instead.
I don't have any Luke Combs on here.
Oh shit, neither do I. But I don't.
And I should.
Anything. Listen to anything by Luke Combs. Literally any song. There's not a bad one except for that weird one about 5 feet apart.
Well, no, you know
6
what?
feet apart. It's weird, but it's fine.
No, it's a very topical.
Yes.
It's not like
get into him first.
It's
and
not
then...
booting your ass,
No,
very politically charged.
No, it's basically just like, I'm really lonely because it's COVID, and I wrote a song about how...
Well, it's I miss my fans. I miss my band.
Here's the things I'm going to do when we go back to normal. When we don't have to be 6 feet apart.
But my point is, it's not like a politically charged...
No, it's not. It's just...
COVID didn't happen, and he wrote some, like, anti-Fauci fucking anthem.
No. It's actually the opposite.
It is. But...
Because it's like, when the world starts again, I'll probably overwatch.
But I did look through his catalog, and it was very hard to figure out, like... Because he also sounds very country.
He does.
And I struggle with, like, because even his love songs, I'm like, your love songs are kind of a bit on the nose.
The one
country.
that Lauren and Lance used for their wedding.
Better Together.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I like Beautiful Crazy.
Yes,
it's really good.
His cover of Fast Cars.
His cover of Fast Car, but I didn't put that on there because, like, that's so mainstream. And it's so mainstream now. I tried to go with songs that weren't super, like, within the lexicon of everything.
If you like his cover, like, if you heard his cover of Fast Cars and you're like, I like it. First of all, Tracy Chapman was probably a country singer.
But the song...
You will like any of his songs.
I did struggle with the genre of kind of funny. Was like, Beer Never Broke My Heart.
Yeah.
I think that's a funny one. It's a good song, but it's also a funny one.
Yeah.
There's another one that's kind of similar to that. But he's got a lot of those... that lane of music.
He is one of the artists that started to go back to, like, real country roots, where it was like...
Yeah. Well, I'll get to why in about 3 artists.
It Does to Me is a very, like, old country kind of feel, without being overly twangy or, like, so obvious with the, like, my wife left me.
Well, he doesn't come across as, like... He's very reminiscent of country without being a hick.
Yes.
Like...
Yeah, it lives out all the redneck parts.
It kind of goes back to almost, like, kind of that weird mid-ground of, like, the 80s and the 90s. Where it wasn't cowboys and, like, criminals, per se. It was more... farmers, guys in the rodeo,
blue collar,
like, but then I have, again, 4 songs by the same artist. Starting Over, Parachute, Nobody to Blame,
I have,
and You Should Probably Leave by Chris Stapleton.
I have Tennessee Whiskey.
You could really listen to anything by Chris Stapleton.
I put Tennessee Whiskey with the exact same notion.
Yeah,
pick anything by him because he's got that same old school feel without any of the negative things that not that country, because country people don't see that any of that is negative. That's fine. But you as the non-country listener,
you as an outsider of the country genre,
that you didn't like before, these newer twangy country singers don't have that anymore. I love Chris Stapleton.
So do I.
He's got a good... Yeah, I had him on here.
I then have Follow Your Arrow.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Merry-Go-Round.
I don't think I have any females, which is very embarrassing. Oh, I have Alison Krauss.
And Rainbow by Casey Musgraves.
Oh, not true. Yes.
And then...
She has a song it's called Merry-Go-Round.
I said that was the second one.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
With, like, a little bit of a storytelling, too.
Yeah. And then these are the 2 that you will not agree with.
Uh-oh.
But I think... this is a big part of the reason why Luke Combs sounds the way he does. And why you're getting into more newer country artists that sound the way they do. And it's because it's Eric Church. Because Luke Combs said, when honoring Eric Church, that, like, his family listens to Eric Church. He grew up listening to Eric Church. And to them, like, Eric Church is the epitome of, like, what modern country music should be. And I think it's because he is very country.
Yes.
He's not a pop country artist. He's not a super political country artist. Like, this is what country music should be.
Like,
at least not in the songs that I know by him.
It's also not like rock country. It's not the poppy. It's just... So
I have Record Year and Springsteen.
I have, like, a wrecking ball. But it's because there's another song.
Because you're a pervert.
No, but you talk about your songs first, because there was...
Are you going to talk about the fact that we got engaged to like a wrecking ball playing in the background, or no?
Because I did not remember that.
I did.
It's also probably on the video.
So no, I don't think it is. If you can't hear it, like it was so faint, but I saw on my phone.
Oh.
So I have music on shuffle at her birthday party. And the song that, unbeknownst to me, came on the playlist when I walked her cake out with her engagement ring on it and got down on my knee was the super horny, sexually charged song "Like a Wrecking Ball" by Eric Church.
But here's the thing. So
which is basically, we've been apart for so long, I'm going to come in this house and fuck the shit out of you all over the place and just destroy the house.
Basically, I'm going to push you through the wall. Is what he's saying. But there's another one, and this is the same, not the same guy. It's another guy. And he had a very, very sexual song, and then he had another one called like Whisper.
Oh,
what was
Chase Rice?
Yes, but what was the
Chase
original
Rice.
song? What was the original song? It's so
it's a
sexual.
very horny song.
It's unride. Oh my god,
it's a very horny song.
So sexual. So
yeah.
If
it's like Bruno Mars levels of a horny song.
But the reason I put Wrecking Ball on here was to like detour just to say that like there are a few, maybe not a ton, of like very sexual, like sensual country songs.
Yeah.
So if your hang up with country is that they don't go that way.
Yeah.
They listen to Ride and like a Wrecking Ball and see if you don't think about it, or if you just don't think about country as a whole differently when you hear that country artists are capable of these kinds of songs also.
Yeah.
Like if you're pigeonholing country music into some sound, listen to these and it will definitely change your mind.
Yeah.
And it will make you see country different.
It's funny how I'll always be down here on my list. You and Tequila, Kenny Chesney.
I don't have any of him on here, but
it's weird how I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs by him, and it's weird that I got to him and I thought like he is kind of an artist I think could carry over. Because, and I think...
Well, he's got that in the Island.
He's very Jimmy Buffett.
Mm-hmm.
He is a modern day Jimmy Buffett.
Yes.
I didn't put Jimmy Buffett on here, but I could have. No, but I think he kind of transcended country music. Because Cheeseburger in Paradise, Margaritaville, Come Monday, I think he's very... And he also, I think he got more embraced. I mean, he was a country singer, but I think he got more embraced with like yacht rock.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And Kenny Chesney, I think, he's a bit more country than Jimmy Buffett was, but he's very... It is very much the vein,
an easy segue.
And everyone has said it for all the time. If you like Jimmy Buffett, you will like Kenny Chesney. Mm-hmm. He was a bit more country early on. He has gotten more Jimmy Buffett as time has progressed. I think it's
because he realized like his crowd.
Well, that's probably his lifestyle probably changed. Mm-hmm. So You and Tequila, Somewhere with You, Out Last Night, I think falls in the same category as your I Love This Bar and all that stuff. Yeah. Also funny, didn't put it on here, thought of it now. Alcohol by Brad Paisley.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's a good one.
Knowing You by Kenny Chesney, which is a very sentimental song. Yes. Here's another one too. Don't Blink? No. Ugh. There's another one that's from when he was younger about a friend of his that died, and I forget what it's called. I'd have to look it up. And then his cover of Please Come to Boston. I really like that song a lot.
I like that one.
Then I have, surprisingly, only 3. Young and Wild by the Zac Brown Band.
I didn't put him on here, and then I realized after the fact.
Keep Me in Mind by Zac Brown Band. Mm-hmm. And Jolene by Zac Brown Band. I wanted to put on here for the lane of if you're into rock music, this could get you into country. This could be your gateway, is Heavy as the Head. Mm-hmm. Zac Brown featuring Chris Cornell, who was a rock singer. But like, they do a lot of crossovers, especially in their later albums. Their early albums are very country. As his career progressed, Zac Brown became very much like, I'm going to do music that I want to do.
I think he got pigeonholed outside.
Well, because Chicken Fried.
Yes. And that is not.
But his later albums, because that Sir Roosevelt didn't really take off, but like his Beautiful Drug. I think that album, Jekyll and Hyde, really,
Yes.
I think opened their career up a little more.
But they're...
Mango Tree was on that album, I think.
They have a lot of, like, because there's Toes, which is the same idea.
Their early stuff is very Jimmy Buffett. Very Kenny Chesney, very beach. I got my toes in the water, ass in the sand.
Yeah.
Audio. What's the
Adios.
That's a different song. What the hell is that song called? Oh shit! What is that song called?
I don't know. It's like it's the very beginning of
Adios and Vaya con Dios. Yeah, I'm leaving GA. Gonna lay in the hot sun and roll a big fat one and grab my guitar and play. I can't for the life of me figure out what it's called. Not Chicken Fried. It's not Homegrown.
Free?
Is it Toes? It might be Toes.
It's Toes.
I got my toes in the water.
I don't want to share them. I want to view them.
Yeah, it's Toes. You gotta hit play.
Oh.
And then pause it.
I have the thing turned off.
And then hit that. I'm pretty sure it is Toes.
Mm-mm.
It's not?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I thought so.
It was way further.
And then you've got like Where the Boat Leaves From.
But he also has Colder Weather, Sweet Annie.
Colder Weather, Sweet Annie, Goodbye in Her Eyes.
Jump Right In.
Jump Right In. As She's Walking Away.
Oh, As She's Walking Away is a good
What's the
one
one with Jimmy Buffett? That's Alan Jackson. What's the one he does with Jimmy Buffett?
I've seen them both there. That's not it.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, which I almost put on here. Knee Deep. There it is.
Knee deep in the water somewhere. So he has that like beachy feel, but he
has tons of good songs.
Yeah,
tons of good songs.
He's very versatile.
I danced around like what I did with this list because Colder Weather could easily go on there. Mm-hmm. Goodbye in Her Eyes could easily go on there.
Yes.
But Highway 20 Ride could easily go on there, but
he is one of those, like, just his catalog in general, or that band's catalog in general.
Then I think a lot of his songs are good. I think a lot of his songs would help people transcend because his songs don't have a distinctly country sound. But I think one of his best songs is Making Memories of Us by Keith Urban.
Oh.
He's got a lot of good songs, a lot of great songs. But that one I sat on here. Who Are You When I'm Not Looking by Blake Shelton. Again, a lot of good songs that you could use.
Yeah,
for Blake. He is a very hit and miss artist.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
I thought about putting Austin on here, but Austin is very country. Yeah. Good Lord. But then he's got to your lane of funny songs, Some Beach.
Oh yeah.
And then you're probably going to be shocked by the ones that are on here. I have The Dance by Garth Brooks. And I have Call 'Em Baton Rouge by Garth Brooks. I struggle with what songs I put. I didn't put Friends in Low Places because everyone knows Friends in Low Places. I did think about putting Thunder Rolls.
So I would think Thunder Rolls is a good one.
I did, but then I also thought, because there's songs that I love by him, but I'm like, I don't know, would these fit? Beaches of Cheyenne is a great one. That Summer is a great one. Like, I thought of songs like, would these fit in like, this would help you listen? But I think The Dance is great.
Yeah.
And Call 'Em Baton Rouge is great. Papa Loved Mama, also a good one.
See, I was thinking of Papa Loved
But then you've also got
Unanswered Prayers.
In the vein of The Dance, you've got Unanswered Prayers. You've got, what's the other one that's very similar to that? Oh, I forget. Then you've got The River. You know that song.
Yeah, I do know that song.
Long Neck Bottle. Great one.
Yeah, that's
American Honky Tonk Bar Association. I don't care for that song. My two newest ones.
I have a ton of new ones.
Wait in the Truck.
Oh.
Hardy and Lainey Wilson, and Watermelon Moonshine by Lainey Wilson. Which is the modern day Strawberry Wine.
So I have a couple other older, they're not older, that older.
Murder Durker.
So I have Your Man by Josh Turner because I think that...
Long Black Train?
No, not Long Black. I mean, anything by him. But if you're looking for a different sound in country music, his voice is so deep that it gives you a different sound.
Good Lord, his voice is deep.
So it gives you a different sound.
Yeah.
So if your issue is you feel like country music is pigeonholed into like all their vocalists sound like this, listen to him. And he sounds so the sound of his voice is so different.
Yeah.
Any of his songs, but I think Your Man is a good one.
Okay.
And then I put Waiting on a Woman by Brad Paisley, but I think there's a lot of them that you could listen.
Yeah, I'm mad I didn't put more of his on here.
He's a bit like poppy country.
Well, he varies. Because Waiting on a Woman's a love song, but then he's got like Mud on the Tires is very country. I'm Still a Guy, which I cannot fucking stand that song. It came on the radio at the beach, and I'm like, God, I fucking hate this song so much. Yeah, he's got a lot of love songs, but he's got Don't Drink the Water. What's more of a
He's not a drinking song. There's no I in beer.
There is no I in beer.
I think there's
alcohol.
There's something about like a beer team.
But then he had like Celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
He had there's another one that's on that same album, and I can't think of what it was. But he's got like Little Moments. I think is a funny song, but it's also a good love song.
He put on a really good concert too, which like that led me to.
Well, and he is in the same lane of Keith Urban, where they're both guitar players and like very good guitar players. Yeah. So a lot of his songs, he doesn't play a lot of acoustic guitar, which kind of takes the country sound out of a lot of his songs, as he plays an electric guitar. Yeah. And he shreds in some of those songs.
But like, I don't know, I like him, and I think he can give like that more.
I think. Talking about it now, I think the best example of an artist as a whole, of someone to ease them into country music, would be Keith Urban.
Yeah. Yeah, because he does, the sound of his voice is not very country. No. But his music still is. Yeah. But he does, because he's the Australian, content. So he doesn't have a twang. No. Because he doesn't have an accent. No. I mean, he does. He doesn't have
an Australian accent.
He doesn't have a southern accent.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it. I can't stop yawning.
So I had Your Man, and then I had Waiting on a Woman, and then I put Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker. And it doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to be Wagon Wheel. Yeah. It's more so for Darius Rucker.
It has to be Only Want to Be With You by Darius Rucker.
That's Hootie and the Blowfish. But here's the thing. If you like Hootie and the Blowfish, you also like
the same voice.
Darius Rucker's
the same guy.
Country catalog.
You also like Only Want to Be With You by Post Malone.
I think that's a really good crossover where like if you like bands or sounds similar to Hootie and the Blowfish, then listen to his Darius Rucker's country catalog. Yeah. Because it's going to take you right over.
He's got some good ones.
He's got tons of great songs. You're going to... No. Don't Think I Don't Think About It.
Don't Think I Don't Think About It is a great one.
So, like, I think it would be a very easy leap.
Yeah.
Over. Because his singing voice is exactly... Yeah. Do you like I Only Want to Be With You? Then you will like Wagon.
Do you like Hold My Hand?
Because it's the same sound. Yeah. It's the same guy singing. So, like... That's why I put him on here, because I was like,
yeah, makes sense.
It's clearly. Also, I love him. Yeah. But then I put Our Wedding Song on here.
I struggled so hard with Brett Eldredge. I love him so much, but I also thought it got in my head what Uncle Bob said about like he doesn't have a country sound. He's got more of like a country crooner kind of sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any...
No, I'm not saying there's something wrong with it, but in terms of like making this list, I struggle with like... But do I put you on here? Because there's a lot of... I love a lot of his songs. It's like any of his songs. I almost put...
Because that's the song that came up first.
I did almost put Sunday Drive or Magnolia. Like he's... he's got a ton of great songs. His Christmas albums are also fantastic.
But here's the thing. The reason I put him on here was because he can offer you a different sound to country music.
Yeah, I agree.
Not all country is your, like, southern twang.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Lainey Wilson, not all country music sounds like her. Not all country artists have a southern accent. Yeah. Some of them are from other places. Yeah. So, like, it's the same with Keith Urban. he has a different. It's still country music.
Mhm.
It's just a little different of a sound. So, like, do you like Frank Sinatra or Michael Bublé? Maybe you like Brett Eldredge.
Yeah.
It's that, like he's a short jump.
Yeah.
From those guys. All right. Do you have any more?
No, I'm done. My list is empty.
I had One Night Standard by Ashley McBryde.
Great song.
Just because I like her a lot.
So do I.
I have My Church by Maren Morris.
I struggle with her too, and I think I struggle.
She's similar to Casey Musgraves.
I think I struggle with her for the sense of, I think more than Casey Musgraves though, that Maren Morris is kind of, because of that song, The Middle. I think she kind of.
But if you
her celebrity of country music kind of changed, and she's
but only that
more
song.
of a pop. But no, all of her songs, I think she's a bit more pop
now
than she always was. 80s Mercedes, even My Church, like they're more pop than they are country.
I like the sound of her voice.
Yeah,
I mean, and maybe she could just help you. Like, you go from whoever you like, to Maren Morris, to Casey Musgraves, to,
Yeah. I think Casey Musgraves is also very pop, but she's more country than Maren Morris is.
I have 3 left.
Okay.
So I picked Drunk on a Plane by Dierks Bentley. That's probably like his worst
I
song.
struggle with him too. He's got a lot of great ones.
But he has a lot.
The Mountain's a good one.
He's similar to Luke Bryan. I mean, not Luke Bryan, Luke Combs, in that, where like he's got a lot of like very like quintessential country without the because he's a bit like rock sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think just him in general, he's a good one to start with, because Drunk on a Plane is like a funny song.
Yeah.
But he's got other ones. There's one, I can't think of what it is.
He's got
Black?
Yes, Black is a good one. Different for Girls.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a lot of them he's got quite a few that you could put into the genre of funny.
Yeah.
Because Drunk on a Plane is funny. The Am I the Only One is funny.
Oh, yeah.
There's another one that he has. Domestic Light and Cold is funny.
And Domestic Light and Cold, if you're looking for like a modern old school country, it's that.
Yeah, he's got a couple of them that are funny. You should have put on here. I didn't have any on here, and I don't know why I blanked on him. Cole Swindell.
He's next. Break Up in the End.
Oh, see, what you should have put on here was that Does It Hurt?
Oh, well, that would be for funny.
Yeah, but it's also a good song.
But Break Up in the End.
Break Up in the End is a great one.
Favorite.
Great one.
It's basically him singing to his ex-girlfriend, like, I would pick you over and over again, even though I know we break up in the end. It's very sad. It's very like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
That's the premise of that movie.
Yeah. Well, he's also got You Should Be Here, which is about someone who's dead.
Yes. I don't care for that one, but he has a lot of songs.
He's got a very country voice.
Yes, he does. But I think that it's an easy it's easy to listen to.
Yeah.
His voice is country, but the sound of the music isn't also twangy. So you kind of have that like offsetness. And the last one is, I don't care what you say. If you want to listen to country music, listen to Morgan Wallen. If you're female, you're going to listen to Morgan Wallen.
See, the only reason
But the song I picked was Flower Shops, which is by Ernest.
The only reason I didn't put him on here, I think, is because...
But I think a lot of people already know about him.
Well, that's why. Because he's like the #1 selling country artist in the past, like 2 years, it feels like. Like, he is huge.
With women.
Well, he became huge in general. I think in terms of what you're seeing online, it is women who like him a lot.
Yeah.
But I think in certain, like, because you're not the #1 selling artist just because of women.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I didn't put him on here, because I think his music is still very country, but he as an artist, I think, has elevated himself.
But he's still
through
his
one way or another.
He's still very country. He hasn't deviated. But I put Flower Shops specifically on here because you want to talk about like old school country, like
Yeah.
Cole Swindell has it. This song is basically, I did my girlfriend so bad. It's a bad day for love, but it's a good day for flower shops because I'm going to have to buy so many flowers to make up for this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the chorus is basically like, I'll take your roses, your this, your that.
Yeah. I'll
And
take your roses if you cut off the thorns.
Like, because she's been through enough. But like
what I can't take no more. I'll buy violets and daisies to hide all the crazy. It's gonna take all you got. It's a good day for love. It's a bad day for love, but it's a good day for flower shops.
And the verses are just, it's the two guys explaining that like there's more red in her, there's tears in her blues and bloodshot in mine. So like they got in a huge fight. The man storms out, the girl is at home crying, and the guy goes on a bender. And then he goes to a florist to attempt to make it better, which traditionally I don't care for those. But he's also, the guys in the song are not, they are not claiming that they didn't mess it up.
Your issue is the song Stay by Florida Georgia Line. Yes. Is the epitome of... Is
it called Stay?
Yes. It is it is a sampled music of Here Without You by Three Doors Down.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's, I'd sell my soul just to see your face. It's like this weird, how much of a piece of shit the guy is. And the chorus is, if I told you I loved you, would it make you want to stay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the way I hurt you and making you walk away. If I wrote you a love song and sang it to you every day, would it be enough to make you want to come back home and stay? So it's essentially, I'm a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
But if I told you I loved you...
If I did this, is it going to work?
Yeah.
I hate those.
Most of those songs are usually, I'm a fucking piece of shit, and I never tell you I love you.
Yeah.
So if I finally tell you that I do love you...
Right.
It's basically, I'm an abusive husband or boyfriend.
Yeah, and that song really does have that feel.
It does. Because it has the sense of like, both physically and emotionally, I'm abusive, and then you left. But if I told you I'm sorry and that I love you, and I didn't mean it, will you come back?
I did not care for that.
And then you do come back, and I just do it again.
He's not...
Yeah.
He's trying to grovel. Like, he's trying to go back and with the flowers and say, like, this is... I messed up. It also neither one say what happened. It just... It alludes to... It's a beautiful day. She's been crying all night.
Yeah.
This bender's been bending. My baby's had all she can take. If you cut off the thorns, she can't take no more. And then it's all gone to hell. She's gone to her mom. I took up drinking since she took the time to tell me I took the best years of her life. So it's like I guess like they're about to break up. And it sort of alludes that the guy's an asshole or like really fucked up, but he also is not denying that.
It's in the vein of
So I'm okay with, because it's the Bruno Mars.
Or it's not. I was gonna say it's in the vein of the Grand Tour, but not really.
It's the Bruno Mars song. It's that same
When
idea.
I Was Your Man, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm already admitting that I screwed up. So now this one, like Bruno Mars song, he knows he's not.
Yeah, like I hope the next guy does better.
This one is
I hope Bruno Mars song is the epitome of what you want from that kind of song. It is a guy saying like, I'm an asshole, and I hope the next guy gives you everything that you deserve.
Does all these things that I never did.
Yeah. All the things I should have done when I was your man.
Yes. And Flowers is this notion of like, I want to make this right.
The Grand Tour, speaking of, for those of you that aren't aware, the premise of that song is George Jones is giving you a tour of his house after Tammy Wynette leaves him. Like, gets divorced from him. Because he's an asshole.
Big time. But according to the show, the things she accuses him of aren't great, but she's a drug user herself.
Well, the difference for the two of them was...
The drugs never interfere.
He was an alcoholic. Does he do drugs? Or he's just a drinker?
I think he might just be a drinker.
I think he's just an alcoholic. Or no. Does he do cocaine?
I don't remember.
He might do cocaine. I don't know.
It's also that like time where
Yeah, I don't know. He might do cocaine, but he's very much a drinker. And he's abusive. They don't shy away.
Drunk.
They don't shy away from showing that on the show. And she eventually just gets fed up with it and leaves. Well, no, you actually find out that it's her songwriting partner is convincing her to leave.
While he leaves his wife.
While he hits and also leaves his wife.
Yeah.
And nearly beats her to death in the car.
Like beats the shit out of her in the car.
And then he's convincing her to leave George Jones while he's also leaving his wife.
And then they get married.
And then she does leave, and then he blackmails her into marrying him.
Yeah.
And then tried to sue the show that.
Yeah. His estate. I think he's dead.
They were defaming him. Good. You should be.
Is she also dead?
Yes.
She died of stomach problems.
And that's the other thing. He was an alcoholic because of like his own problems. She was a drug addict because she was sick but had to keep performing, and the doctors. So it's not. I'm saying it's not her fault.
Yeah,
but they're addicts for two different reasons.
She had
doctors killed Tammy Wynette.
She had
her family is very adamant about that.
Yes, because I think
she refused. So it was you need to get surgery. Well, I need to keep performing.
She had her kids, and something never healed properly.
Yes. So well, no, she had all kinds of shit wrong. It was from that.
So she had like pelvic problems.
She had a ton of problems.
And then eventually the drugs, I think, caused a problem in her stomach.
Yeah.
She was taking painkillers because of the complications she had from birth.
Well, she was taking more than painkillers, I think.
No,
she had a full-blown fucking thing put in her chest to just shoot the medicine in, and it just stayed there.
I think it was painkillers still.
Whatever it's called. I forget what that's called. It's not a stent. The fuck is that called?
A port.
Yeah, port. Like an IV port.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it's just like painkillers.
I don't remember. But so she's sick and they're putting her on medication and so we need to get surgery. Well, I have a tour.
Yeah.
So they just keep giving her meds to keep her on tour at her request.
Yeah. It was very
and Michael Jackson. It goes on for years and years and years, and then her adult children are like, "You're a fucking doctor. What's wrong with you?"
One, I think they're trying.
And the doctors are kind of like, "She's Tammy Wynette," and it's like, Jesus Christ.
I think they tried to appeal to her first, and like it wasn't working.
Well, they tried. George Jones at this point is now sober. That is the hard part of watching that show. Is the whole first half of that series is like, fuck George Jones. What a piece of shit.
Yeah,
and the second half is like, God damn it. I feel so bad for you because you get sober and then there's just so many scenes of you begging Tammy Wynette to come back to you.
And he remarried.
And she's like, no. He's married and he's like, we can just leave. Because they go on tour together.
Yeah.
And he's like, we could get in the bus right now and just leave. We could leave all this behind. And it's, well, then it's him. I think what makes it doubly sad is it's not just him begging her to come back. It is also him begging her to get clean or you're going to die.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose you permanently in that way kind of thing.
Does she die first?
Yes.
She does?
I'm pretty certain.
Oh my God, that's so heartbreaking.
Because she was so sick.
She died in 1998?
He died in the 2000s.
Greetings. George Jones. 2013?
Yeah, he died more recently than you think.
Whoa! Holy shit, he was old.
Yeah. Which is wild.
70? 82. No, not really. I thought he was older than that.
That's 82 is fucking old.
Yeah, but I thought he was older than that.
82 is old for a man that has as many addictions as he did.
She was 54.
Mm-hmm.
55, my bad. Wow.
You know what I mean? All the problems he had, 82 is old as shit.
He was 81.
For someone,
he didn't make it to his birthday.
For someone that had that many problems, he was old as shit.
He was remarried, but they weren't married for it.
No, he got married later in life. Was it after she died?
Oh, no. So it was someone, Tammy Wynette, and then that woman till he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you really think about it, and you're like, Tammy Wynette wasn't that great either. Like she definitely was a victim of him, but like she had her own.
When she was a victim of herself.
Yeah, she had her own like host of things.
Well, I think they make it clear. Well, in the series, I think it's played as like almost in the sense of kind of, not really, but like kind of like Lady Gaga in A Star Is Born, where I feel like wasn't it a matter of like she wanted to be famous,
and
then it was she wanted to be famous, then she had to come out from behind the spotlight of George Jones, and then when she finally did, I can't lose this kind of thing. So that's why she just kept putting off surgery and putting off surgery and putting off surgery. And after everyone in her family, including her ex-husband, were pleading with her to like, you need to stop. And she's just basically saying like, you don't know what you're talking about. Then they go to the doctors and it's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like you're a doctor who's just giving a woman pain medicine and you're killing her. And Steve Zahn's like, fuck off.
Yeah. He's the worst.
God. He was such a piece of shit on that show. It's so infuriating how much of a piece of shit Steve Zahn was. But it was eye-opening to see Stand By Your Man, how that was written.
Mm-hmm.
And then the same thing, Grand Tour. I really need to know how realistic He Stopped Loving Her Today was in that series.
Yeah, because that's the one where he just like goes in and does it in one day.
No, that's the Grand Tour.
Oh.
The Grand Tour is he finds the divorce papers on the counter at their house.
Oh, yeah.
And then he storms to the studio and sings that song. Because he's so mad. And He Stopped Loving Her Today was, they wrote it. It came out like, this was like the end of his career, is when that song came out. And it was written for him. They wanted him to record it. He was drunk in the booth.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't get, he was drunk, but he was also like crying. Could not get through it.
Yeah.
Take after take after, on the show at least. Take after take after, could not get through it. They finally call Tammy Wynette and have her come into the studio. She sits in the booth. She does not know what the song is. She doesn't know what the song is about. She's in the booth she's in the mixing room while he's in the booth recording. They tell her she's here. They tell him she's here.
Yep.
She wants to hear your new song, whatever I forget what they tell him. And then he gets up to the microphone, and it was the last take they did was him singing the full song, and it's the big, he said, I love you till I die.
Mm-hmm.
She told him, you'll forget in time. As the years went slowly by, she still preyed upon his mind, kept some pictures on his wall, letters by his bed, whatever. And then you get to the big crescendo of He Stopped Loving Her Today. They placed a wreath upon his door, and soon they'll carry him away. He stopped loving her today. And you watch, the camera is just on Jessica Chastain, letting it wash over her the fact that he is singing a song about a man who is in love with a woman, literally until the day he died.
Who leaves him.
She leaves him.
Yep.
And it is literally, I will love you until I die.
Mm-hmm.
First time I'd seen him smile in years, and he is dead.
Mm-hmm. All dressed up to go away.
And you watch it.
That's what I had on my list.
You watch it just rain over Jessica Chastain. And I'm like, holy shit. If that's how that song was recorded, good Lord.
Yeah, I don't know. Was there enough people alive to know? Probably.
Her kids?
Yeah, but they wouldn't know.
Half people in that booth are probably still alive.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing.
Steve Zahn probably outlived her.
What's his name? I forget.
I don't know. He might not have lived.
Oh, or her husband.
He might not have outlived George Jones, but he definitely outlived her. Because didn't he get everything? Yeah, he changed her will and shit. I'm pretty sure. Didn't he? Well, then you find out, like, he was their
Michael Tomlin, George Ritchie.
He was their songwriter, and their songs sound the way they do because he was writing love songs about Tammy Wynette, and then writing songs about, like, the breakup songs were because he wanted George Jones and Tammy Wynette to divorce so he could marry Tammy Wynette because he was obsessed with her. A piece of shit.
He was married to her for 20 years, and then he remarried 2 years after she died.
What an asshole.
But they were only married for a year? Or until his death, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks.
Check them out.
If you're looking to get into country music, this is the show to listen to. This is the episode to listen to. Thank you for joining us. Follow us on social media if you don't already. Like and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube so you can stay up to date on our latest videos. Please review and give a 5-star rating and all that stuff on whatever audio format you're listening to, Spotify or Apple or whatever, wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We love you, and as always, thank you for being a friend.